Well, have you ever looked in the mirror and avoided your own reflection? Not because you were in a hurry, not because the lighting was bad, but because you were afraid of what you might see. When I was 12, I thought I was lost. I was drowning in stress, loneliness, after losing someone I loved, and the loss of confidence when my skin suddenly broke out. At that time, I tried to run away from my pain. I suppressed my emotions for years, hoping they would eventually disappear. But they didn't. They stayed inside me, lingering day after day. I was afraid to let go of my fear since facing reality often feels risky and uncertain. I didn't know whether changing myself would help me heal or make everything even worse. And the truth is that I did what many people do. I smiled. I said I'm fine with everything making me exhausted. I laughed more whenever I wanted to hide my feelings. Meanwhile, a dark hole was opening slowly inside my mind. It may sound silly, but it was true. And honestly, I don't think I was the only one. Many young people nowadays are obsessed with perfection. They try to keep up with everyone's expectations and that make them exhausted. I know that appearance and achievements often create more opportunities in life, whether in jobs, scholarships, or relationships. However, trying to keep up with socials, um, like everything that we want to be like social media or KOLs on some social platforms, I think that not makes sense. And slowly, we begin comparing ourselves to other people. Someone is prettier, someone is smarter, someone is more successful, someone seems to have a perfect life. Those comparisons destroy our self esteem and invisible pressure. Instead of asking for help, we pretend that we are okay. Instead of saying, "Ugh, I'm so tired today," we simply say, "Oh, don't worry, I'm fine." But why? Why do we spend so much energy pretending? To answer that question, I want to tell you about one ordinary day that changed my life. At that time, I was calling my friends on my phone when I accidentally looked in the mirror. I was shocked. Honestly, I was disappointed too. I saw my pimples, my scars. I saw the face that I had been trying to ignore for years. What happened to me? I wondered. At first, I thought my biggest problem was my appearance. But after standing there for a while, I realized something much bigger. The problem was not my imperfections. The real problem was that I had spent years treating myself like an enemy. I had criticized myself more than anyone else ever could. I had focused on everything that was wrong with me and forgotten everything that was right. I had chosen the wrong path. But that moment strangely changed all my perspective. At that time, I stopped running. Instead, I persuaded me to redefine my value. That was when I started thinking about harmony. Before, I thought harmony means having a perfect life. No failures, no sadness, no insecurity, no fear. But slowly, I realized that true inner harmony is something completely different. Harmony is not the absence of negative emotions. Harmony is learning how to live honestly with them. Harmony is crying when you need to cry. Harmony is admitting that you are tired. And harmony is choosing to grow without hating yourself. There were moments when I kept asking myself repeatedly, if I had matured earlier, would my life be different? Over time, I came to understand that it is never too late to grow. The real tragedy is being too afraid to face reality and begin changing. In my opinion, many young people nowadays are trying so hard to become better versions of themselves. I know that we are told to improve every day, like a compulsory task. Work harder, look better, achieve more, and study more. Of course, growth is really important, but it is never a reason for us to treat ourselves like enemies. Day by day, we focus on our flaws so much so that we forget to appreciate and take care of our inside health. Let me tell you a short story. I have a friend named Hung. She always comforts people around her. Then one day, I got a low score on an English test, and she immediately encouraged me and made me laugh. But after she received almost the same score herself, she cried and blamed herself for not being good enough. That made me wonder, why are we often kinder to others than to us? When our friends fail, we encourage them. When our family members make mistakes, we forgive them. When someone we love feels hopeless, we remind them that everything will be okay. But when we fail, the only thing that appears in our mind is just like, you are a bad person. Listen, you need to work harder and harder than ever. Are we being too hard on ourselves? Some people might think that being strict to themselves helps them grow. But there is a huge difference between self-discipline and self-hatred. While self-discipline helps us grow in a healthy and balanced way, self-hatred destroys our inner peace. So, I don't believe that accepting ourselves means giving up. I don't believe that loving ourselves means staying the same forever. I believe we should continue changing, improving, and trying to chase our dreams. Not because we are not enough, but because growth is part of being human. Maybe after many changes and experiences, we will still fail. We will still suffer so many difficult moments and suppress negative emotions. But inner harmony gives us the strength to face those moments. You know, life was never meant to be perfect, and neither are we. No one was born to have a perfect appearance, a perfect moral, or a perfect intelligence. No. All of them must come from practicing, studying, and balancing. So, I'd like to ask you one final question. The next time you look in the mirror, what will you see? Will you see someone who isn't good enough? Someone who has too many flaws? Someone who has made too many mistakes? Or will you see someone who has survived difficult moments, learned valuable lessons, grown through pain, and is still trying? What will you see? Maybe the person in that mirror doesn't need more criticism. Maybe they don't need to become perfect. Maybe they just need a little more understanding, a little more patience, a little more kindness. Because true inner harmony does not begin with people who become perfect. It really begins the moment we stop fighting ourselves. And if you are silently exhausted right now, I hope you remember this. You do not need to become perfect to deserve peace. You deserve to be heard. You deserve to be understood. You deserve to stop hiding who you are. And when we learn to accept ourselves, we will become more understanding of others. Because a harmonious community begins with people who live in harmony with themselves. So, I want to tell you one last thing. Looking back, I didn't find inner harmony alone. To my family, thank you for loving me, even when I couldn't love myself. To my friends and my teachers, thank you for encouraging in me, believing in me, and helping me become the person standing here today. If I have learned to be kinder to myself, it is because all of you first showed me what kindness looks like. Thank you.